Last video I showed us how to do that using the Google form, and now I'm using my phone to explain this because this is mostly used via your Android phone. Okay, it's used via your Android phone, and I wanted to show us how to do it using our phones. Remember, I said an Android phone, not iPhone, not so it can be used on Android. There is no iOS app yet, but it can be used on iPhone. Sorry, not Android. It can be used on any Android phone. Okay, so you go to kobo toolbox.org, and then this is what you're going to come up with. Okay, so if you're doing this for the first time, you have to click on sign up, and then you create an account. Okay, because I have already, just took me to my to my except if I log out. Let me try to log out. Okay, so let's try to create an account. I just want to show something. Okay, so this is how it's going to be. Put your name, organization name, email, sector, country. You have to fill everything. Give it a good password. Put your gender, and then create an account. So easy. Alright, so let me log in back to mine, and let's get to work. Alright, so this is my own page account. So since I'm about to start, I would like to start with a new form. Okay, so I click on this, and you can see new the project. I'll just click on new so that we'll start from scratch. So you click on build from scratch. Alright, so let's give it a name. Let's give it a name. Prevalence of psycho psychological stress among adolescents. Okay, that's the name I'm giving my topic. All right, so description, like I stated, using the Google form, that is where, let me try to change this to desktop site. Okay, that is where you, sorry, so let's do that again. All right, so psychological stress among adolescents. Okay. So the description is where you add your informed consent. Informed consent is just to tell people about what you want to do, how you're intending to go about it, and why you need them to fill your form. So it's just to give a brief description about your project. Okay, so we can just say something like, my name is my name is Pearl Godwin. I am a master student of public health, Femi Awolowo University, Ife, Ile Ife, Nigeria. So, I am conducting a research on psychological stress among adolescents. Okay, so just like that, just tell us what you want to do, okay? Alright, so then you go to sector. Let's pick public admin for this. But you can also pick, let's pick health then. Since you're working on health, let's pick health. Country, Nigeria. Okay, so click on this and then create your project. Alright, Glory, we have our project now. Okay, so we're about to start. Alright, so you click on this. And remember I said that your objective will take each of the sections on in your questionnaire. So the difference between this and Google Form is that it's not always in sections like social demographic, what's the name now? Like it's not always in sections. For Google Form, you can decide to put a section, like give it a title for each section. But for this, don't do all that. Okay. So you will just write them accordingly. So those will be name. Okay, say add question. So these are the options. For name, it is not a multiple choice, it is a text, right? So just click on this text. Okay. You can give it an int, something like age at last birthday. Alright. So you click on this too. And maybe the next question will be gender. Add question. Gender will have an option. So you can give it female, male, prefer not to say. Okay, so the next one will be what now? Maybe we're saying their marital status. This also would have options. So you can do something like single, married, diverse, separated. Okay, so that's the woman's under social demographic before we go to other objectives. Okay, so we can ask them their highest level of qualification. I'm talking about educational background now. This also would have options. So we can say primary. Do they have primary education? Do they have secondary? Do they have tertiary? Alright, so now let's move to social demographic. Since we said psychological stress, so let's start with knowledge. We want to assess the level of knowledge of the students or of the respondent on psychological stress. So you start asking questions relating to psychological stress. Right. So number one, you can say something like, I talked about something in the Google form that under the knowledge questions, you're supposed to ask an awareness. You want to really know if someone has heard about that thing before you then start asking about the knowledge of that subject, on that topic. So the first question you should ask is, have you heard about psychological stress? Alright, so this is also our options. So you can say yes and no. Okay, so let's say, where did you hear about it? This is very important for us to know where our respondents tends to get their own information. So this is like a source of information question, and it's very important so that we can. It's used to. I mean, it's used by lawmakers, change makers to know, okay, what is the most frequent source of information that people tend to get information from, so that they can employ that source of information the more. Okay, so that is why we're asking this. So you can then ask them, is it by mouth to mouth, radio, television, social media, and so many more. Okay. So now, since we've asked questions on awareness, we can then start asking questions on knowledge. What is psychological stress? All right. So for this, we can have either open questions. We call something open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are questions that don't have options. So you give people room to, express themselves. So for example, for this, if we just write it like, what's psychological stress? Like this. You're not giving it options. No option. Let me do it again. Alright, so if you're having an open-ended question, you're not going to be giving it an option. You just want to know what people feel. Like, you want to know what the opinion of everybody about that topic. But close-ended questions are questions that you have restricted the answer or the responses to a particular set of questions. So for example, if I just pick text here, right, this is what I'm going to have. So I'm expecting people to be able to feel what they think about psychological stress. And this is an open-ended question. But if I come up here and say what's psychological stress? And then I say this, and then I give it options. It is a stress that affects the mental capacity of a person All right, I'm already giving it an option. So people will just be restricted to the options I have and they will just choose from it. It's a stress that affects babies. This is just an example. It's a stress that is very common among women. Okay. So this is now a close ended because you're restricting people to these three options. Okay. So that is that about close ended and open ended question. So now let's go to, let's say we have another objective and the objective is to assess the effect of psychological stress on adolescents. So let's just ask a few questions and then I teach us the other things on the kobo toolbox. Okay, so psychological stress causes depression. This is a question under the effect. So let's just say yes, no. All right, let's do another one. It is, it can result to death. Yes, no. It it doesn't aff- it affects the mental capability of an individual. All right. So now we have three questions here, and I think we are good to go. Okay, so when you're done, you just click on save. All right. So it's expected that you validate your work. So you come here and you do a form preview. So you click on that thing that looks like an eyeball. Alright, so you come back, come down here. This is how it's going to look on your Android phone. Can you see? So that's going to look on your Android. So you just validate. So it's telling me my form is valid. Okay. Now I can use it on my laptop. I'll be on my Android phone, sorry. Alright, so what you do is you save, like we've done, and then you, alright, so okay, so when you're done saving, validating your form, it is expected that you check if your form has been deployed. So there is a button that you're supposed to click on to show that it's deployed, because if it's not deployed, you won't be able to access it on the app using your Android phone. So it's very important to deploy it. Now, looking at this, and you see that it's in the draft because we've not deployed it. Alright, so it has to be deployed. So you click on it and click on psychological stress. Then make sure you deploy. And so it's deploying already. Okay, so we have the deployed form now. You can check again. And let's say we don't have anyone in the draft again, so it's already here. Alright, so we're done with this. We can then go and try to download the app. Okay, so click on this global color. And then since I have it already, I'll just go to app to show us how to go about the stuff. So click on the app and then go to the C.com. Alright, so this is the app. Just click on this and then you have the general setting. Okay, So go to server and go to URL. Now you're expected to put your username at this after this slash. So my username is ayo_me20. All right, so you can just of course there'll be something there, you have to remove that and then put yours. You also put your username here and put your password here, and then you go back. All right, so you will then come to get blank form, and every deployed form on your form page, would show. So we are going to be trying to click on the form we want to work on. All right, not on all the deployed forms. So let's say that we want to work on this. This was what we did. So you just click on this. If you're doing more than one, you can click on two, and then you click on get selected. But let's just work on one for this video. All right. So you then go to fill blank form. Okay. Then go to fill blank form. Can you see the form is already showing here? So you just click on it. All right. So name Tama. Sorry. All right. Age 17. Female. Married. Primary. Yes. Radio. Just fill. And then when you're done, let me see. Okay, so can you see I'm done now? Just say save form and exit. Or you click on this button. Okay. All right. So that is all about this. Okay. It's so simple. So simple. So let me show us how to download the form. For analysis, for every work that you're doing, the main goal is to derive useful information from your work. All right. So how do you derive those useful information that you can use to conclude on your work? It's by analysis. Okay. So after you're done and you have a lot of responses on your work, you then come to this button and you will see this. Just click on download XML. All right, can you see? So you are to download it. Okay. So this is what we're going to be using to analyze your work. Of course, it's going to be in Excel form, but in the next video, I've prepared a full course for us on how to use SPSS to analyze our questionnaires. And this can be accessed through by clicking on the Grant Me Access button. So if you click on the Grant Me Access button, you'll have access to the full video course on how to use SPSS to analyze. So now, what we have downloaded now is an Excel form, but you would be taught in the video on how to import your data from even Excel to SPSS and run your analysis.